When did you realize manipulation isn't always a bad thing? My little brother Tyler was supposed to be the smart one. Straight A's since kindergarten. Teacher's pet. Always had his homework done 3 days early. Me? I barely passed high school. Worked at my uncle's auto shop changing oil and rotating tires. Nothing wrong with that, but everyone in our family made it clear who the successful kid was. Tyler got into this fancy college 3 hours away. Full scholarship. My parents threw him this huge party. I was happy for him, but also kind of relieved he'd be gone. Tired of being compared to the golden child. 2 months into his first semester, he came home for the weekend. Something was off. He barely ate dinner. Kept checking his phone with this panicked look on his face. Sunday night before he left, I found him sitting in his car in our driveway at midnight, just sitting there in the dark. I knocked on the window. He jumped like I'd scared him half to death. "You good?" I asked. He nodded, but wouldn't look at me. I could tell he'd been crying. I got in the passenger seat. We sat there for maybe 10 minutes without talking. Finally, he just broke down. "I can't do it. I'm failing everything. Everyone there is smarter than me. I don't understand anything the professors say. I sit in class and feel like an idiot." This was Tyler, the kid who won the science fair 3 years in a row, who got a perfect score on his college entrance exam. "Have you talked to your professors?" I asked. He shook his head. "They'll think I'm stupid. Everyone will know I don't belong there." Over the next few weeks, Tyler started coming home every weekend. My parents thought he just missed us, but I noticed he was getting thinner, not sleeping. His hands shook when he poured coffee. One Friday, he showed up at the auto shop instead of the house. I was under a truck changing someone's transmission. "Can I stay with you this weekend?" he asked. "I don't want mom and dad asking questions." That night in my apartment, he finally showed me his grades. He was failing 3 out of 5 classes. He had a major exam on Monday he hadn't even started studying for. "I'm dropping out," he said. "I'm not smart enough for this. I'll just get a job somewhere and figure it out." Here's the thing. Tyler was absolutely smart enough, but he'd spent his whole life being perfect, and the second things got hard, he panicked. He needed help but was too proud or too scared to ask for it. So I lied to him. I told him our uncle was sick. Really sick. And he needed someone to take over the shop books because he couldn't focus on the numbers anymore. Tyler looked confused. "Uncle Rick is sick?" "Yeah. Won't admit it, but Dad told me. He needs help with the business finances. You're the only one in the family who's good at math. Can you look at his books this weekend?" I'd spent 3 hours that afternoon creating fake financial documents, profit and loss statements, tax forms, inventory spreadsheets, made it look like the shop was a complete mess. Tyler spent the entire weekend organizing everything, making spreadsheets, creating systems, explaining to me how quarterly taxes worked and why we needed better inventory tracking. He was completely focused, confident, teaching me stuff like he was the expert. Sunday night, I printed out his exam study guide, mixed it in with the shop paperwork. "Hey, this accounting stuff is similar to that economics class you're taking, right? Can you explain some of this to me? I'm trying to understand it for Uncle Rick." For the next 4 hours, Tyler taught me his entire economics curriculum, explaining concepts, drawing charts, making it simple enough for someone like me to understand. By midnight, he'd basically taught himself everything he needed to know for his exam. "You're really good at this," I told him. "Maybe you should be a teacher or something." He laughed. First real laugh I'd heard from him in weeks. Monday morning, he drove back to school, called me Tuesday night and said he thought the exam went okay, maybe even good. He got an 87, his first decent grade all semester. The next weekend, I told him Uncle Rick needed more help with the books. Same process. Tyler would come over, organize my fake business documents, and accidentally teach himself whatever subject he was struggling with. It took 3 months before he figured it out. He showed up at the shop one Saturday morning with coffee and this knowing look on his face. "Uncle Rick's not sick, is he?" I didn't say anything. "These aren't even real documents. This one has last year's calendar dates, and you spelled revenue wrong in like 6 places." He wasn't mad. He was smiling. "You've been making me teach you my homework. You needed help," I said, "but you wouldn't ask for it, so I made you think you were helping me instead." Tyler was quiet for a minute. Then he said something I'll never forget. "I got a 3.7 this semester, made Dean's List. My professors think I'm one of their best students now." He paused. I was about to drop out. I was gonna come home and never tell anyone I failed. "You saved me." Tyler graduated with honors 3 years later, got a job at some big accounting firm making more money than I'll probably ever see. But every few months, he still calls me with some fake problem. Pretends he needs help understanding his taxes or his car's making a weird noise. We both know what he's really doing. Checking in, making sure I'm okay, returning the favor. Last week, he called about his retirement account, spent an hour explaining investment strategies to me. I understood maybe half of it, but I let him talk anyway, because sometimes the best way to help someone is to let them think they're helping you.